kind of that fine. Objectively speaking, I can't believe stuff where this movie goes on for 2.5 hours. Plot free, and a lot of like national very dabs at humor.